This college basketball picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Colorado, Indiana, Michigan, New Jersey, Tennessee, Virginia, and Arizona. From boosted parlays to in-game odds on every major sport, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign today to receive a $1,000 risk-free sports bet. Download the WynnBET app now or visit wynnbet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Better Fantasy. Better Fantasy is a free play app that lets you bet on all your favorite NFL player props for a chance to win awesome prizes. Download the app today over at betterfantasy.com/SGPN. That's betterfantasy.com/SGPN. We're also brought to you by PropSwap, America's marketplace to buy and sell sports bets. Use promo code SGP on your first deposit to receive up to $500 in bonus cash. Head over to PropSwap.com or download the PropSwap app today. We're also brought to you by SoBet. Sign up to bet against your friends and join the social betting revolution at SoBet.io/SGPN. That's SoBet.io/SGPN. And of course, don't forget to download the SGPN app, your home for all of our free picks and podcasts.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Soundboard's upset at us.
Yes, Kramer. Kramer.
There we go. We're looking good. I don't know if we have sexy music on the board.
No, we don't.
Good looking music because we're looking good over here. Rearrange the shirts behind me and Colby so we can look like real men with a New Zealand All Blacks rugby uni in there in the middle.
Just
of
trying
course,
to bury that Giants jersey.
We'll be potentially clearing out my locker, and I'll make it official. Even though we're here to talk about college basketball, it seems as though Joe Judge needs to be taken on a fishing trip.
Wow! All right, it is official breaking news.
It was brought to my attention that
officially out on the Joe Judge.
All rise.
Joining us as always to talk college basketball, Colby Dant, aka the Dantivist. What's up, Colby?
Doing good. I like this soundboard, man. It's like they're hacking into the mainframe. Those are the robots, Sean.
Oh yeah, the robots hate us. They're trying to take us over.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a big. Which Terminator do you go, 1 or 2?
One. Always say one.
Really? Over 2?
Always say one.
I would say this is tough. It's tough to beat Terminator 1, but I would say of sequels, Terminator 2 is one of the few sequels that you can at least make a case is better than the original. One of the few.
And James Cameron, I know he goes over budget on every project, and I know no one gives a shit about this, but his special effects hold up, and like you go watch number 2, and it like holds up to today's special effects. Yeah,
it is funny how some of that shit is so bad in comparison. All right, but we're not here talking Terminator. We're talking college basketball. I love that they started using this music for college basketball. Love college hoops, grinding away here in the regular season, and when you're getting down on some college hoops action, you gotta go to WynnBET.com. Download that Wynn betting app. Of course, they're running a sweet promotion with the build your own bet. Win that awesome prize with Shaq. Gonna hang out at Shaq's house in Los Angeles. And $5,000 free bet, bunch of travel and awesome other credits as well. And they have a bet $5, win $400 in free bets exclusively at WynnBET, WynnBET.com. Bet big. Sorry. Yes, bet big, win bigger with WynnBET.com.
Imagine going to Shaq's house and playing Shaq Fu all day with him.
Ooh. What is Shaq Fu exactly called?
It was a fighting game back in the 90s.
Oh, you're right.
Shaq,
yes.
It was like Mortal Kombat, but with Shaq.
You think that video game's probably in the room with the mirror that makes you look well hung.
That's Shaq's secret.
Shout out to Kentucky Fried Movie. If they made a sequel, Shaq would be in that shit.
That is a good one. That is a good one.
Long Wang.
Long Cox.
Before we get to the college basketball picks, it is time for this week's edition of Real Men of Degens. Of course, brought to you by PropSwap.com. Promo code SGP, where America goes to buy and sell real sports betting tickets.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degens.
Real Men of Degens.
We salute you.
Magic Man Blanco. That's right. We got a review on our app. Quote, "This is Miss Magic Man Blanco. My fiance said he wouldn't propose until I downloaded the app and left a review. LOL. Grown to love this app since my fiance paid for our wedding venue all off of Bull Picks and Kramer's Locks. Can't wait to win Merch Monday. Glad to be the newest female listener to DGen Nations." Shout out to you, April. Congrats on your nuptials with Magic Man himself. But I mean, strong arming your lady into leaving a review. That is true, real men of Degens.
Strong arming. Imagine not. And I, rarely do I tout my Twitter feed, but if you followed me, you would have seen that I wrote this down on the internet. But imagine not giving your wife access to sweet free content, picks, and podcasts.
I wouldn't, it's the cornerstone of our marriage.
And by the way, I noticed that Kramer's Locks got called out by name.
Yes.
I don't see Colby's Locks. I don't see. So once again, the ladies come for the picks. They stay for my voice, Sean.
What do you think it was, though? I mean, you had the Giants on the over, so that wasn't the case. It had
April
to be.
Doesn't care about my picks in the NFL. She just. What she's really saying is,
Well, our last college basketball
hello, April.
pick show, there was a lot of green here. Colby went 6-5-2 with a lock and a bonus lock hitting. I went 7-4-2 with a lock, dog, and bonus lock all hitting.
Get the broom out.
Kramer also went 7-4-2 with the push, half a lock, a dog, and a whiff on the bonus lock. But
my
still,
lock got canceled. It would have hit. We all know it would have hit. And again, let's bring it back because that was the delicious Western Kentucky parlayed with Western Kentucky on the money line day. So let's go.
The Hilltoppers. Oh, and speaking of PropSwap.com, I asked Colby to go look at some college basketball futures you like. Colby, what are you getting down on?
Well, I think I was looking for value. I mean, look, there was some like Baylor right out the gate. Baylor's undefeated. They look like they're potentially could repeat, but the value wasn't good enough. So I went with the Auburn Tigers.
Ooh.
All right, 18-1 to win the national championship. You can buy this ticket for $103 right now.
Oh.
You can win over 2,000.
That seems nice.
Oh my God.
That's
Come
better
on.
than the price you're going to get in the wild.
They got maybe the first pick in the draft on the team. They got just a slew of transfers. They're getting healthy right now. So,
and this is called intelligence through osmosis. Colby has been sitting next to me long enough to start being a value extractor himself, Sean.
that's what they call me.
Everything's happening on this side of the table. I'm not the one saying it, but I've heard rumors that people are clamoring for Water Jug Sean to come back.
Really?
So me and Colby can sit here by ourselves on one side of the table.
All right, I'm happy to
Sean,
just
go to the other room and zoom in. The fans want Water Jug back. All right, we got
what you wish for.
We got games and we got real live numbers out in the wild. So
yes, bunch of fun action and yeah, let's get to it. Depaul, St. John's tipping off. And these are all games happening on January 5th. Some afternoon action, early evening. Depaul, St. John's squaring off in Queens, New York. St. John's, of course, home to my first fake ID. Shout out to St. John's. That was back when you can get into a bar with a college ID. It was a simpler time back then, Ryan, pre 9/11. Depaul 8-4 against the spread. Oh, I didn't even say what the actual spread was. St. John's laying 5.5. Depaul coming in pretty hot against the spread, 8-4. St. John's not being able to cover many spreads at home, 1-7 against the spread. Depaul with a nice, pretty good on the glass, 41 rebounds per game. There are obviously, like many games right now, there are some COVID questions. So I would certainly wait till like the last second to actually bet these and see if you can scoop up some info on Twitter, because nothing worse than betting a college game that doesn't get canceled, but the line moves crazy because of some COVID stuff. So Colby, what's the play here? I'm leaning DePaul because of their rebounding and the fact they're getting 5.5.
Yeah, I am too. And look, Tony Stubblefield came in from Oregon. He was an assistant at Oregon, I think the past 9 years. And Depaul's really been a mess the past decade, maybe even longer than that. And he came in and out the gate they were great. They beat Rutgers, they beat Louisville. They opened up 9-1, and then Big East Conference play started.
Road games,
and you went at Butler, they lose by 4, and then they get blown out at home by Ed Cooley by 17. This is a bit they need to step up because it's not getting easier. You got Villanova, Marquette, Seton Hall, Xavier on deck. This is a huge opportunity. Give me the Blue Demons plus the points here. St. John's, another thing is they've scheduled incredibly light at a conference. They're not really battle tested, even though I like their lineup. I mean
a team that's a dog that can rebound well against a team that has trouble covering big spreads at home, or at least relatively big for St. John's. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's a pretty solid play on Depaul. Kramer.
Sean, my numbers have this 3.5. I made the line 4.5. It's 5.5. So I'm obviously on Depaul. Is this a generational team from Depaul? Could this be one of their best teams ever?
I mean, it's a great first year for Stubblefield. I'll tell you that, regardless of how they play in the
they used to be the dorm.
East,
They were the welcome mat, just like John Lynch's forehead.
Nick Fortune checking in on our live YouTube chat. Again, perfect reason to subscribe over at youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. Your questions, your comments, get on air and turn on the notifications so you get a little email whenever we're going live, cranking out some pods, midday here. Nick Fortune, he's leaning St. John's. I still think that number is a little high for me. Heading over to Dayton, Ohio, where Dayton laying 1.5 against VCU. Looking at some spreads, Dayton pretty middling, 6-7 against the spread. VCU though ranked 7th nationally in opponents' field goal percentage and 2nd in opponents' 3-point field goal percentage. Oh man, I like a team catching some points that plays good defense, but Dayton pretty solid. What's the play here, Colby?
This should be a good one here because the question is which team's going to show up. Now VCU is a team that always struggles on offense, but to start the season were without Ace Baldwin. He's back. He's healthy. Remember Sahonis from DGen Madness. He was on Washington. He transfers into VCU. Meanwhile, Dayton. Which Dayton team? The team that beat Kansas, or the team that beat Miami, or the team that lost to Lipscomb or UMass Lowell?
Yeah.
So they've kind of been up and down all year. I'm gonna take VCU. VCU swept them a season ago. Anthony Grant, and here's another thing. He used to coach at VCU, so this is I think going to come down to the final couple of possessions. But give me VCU. I think they got the better athletes.
LOL is how the kids pronounce LOL nowadays. When you said that, maybe look, I think this is one of those games where if you want to have some fun, go pull up the matchup page on KenPom, where you'll see a lot of bright green in the VCU defense column, and you'll see a lot of pink and red in the VCU offense column. Right, this is a tale of two sides. I think the defense travels. I'm going to take VCU here. I would have made this a pick 'em. So Dayton obviously
getting a point and a half,
getting some bump for being at home. I think it's the wrong side here. Honestly, Sean, I'm pretty proud of how I can make college basketball lines now, because a lot of these don't need to change from where I made them.
No,
which is
Ryan kind of comes up with the lines because of the quick turnaround in the college basketball, and we end up using it, or they're very close.
This stadium gets lit though. This stadium does get lit.
First floor, baby.
Yeah.
It's the mecca of college basketball, right?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Louisville tipping off in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, huge favorites here, laying 12. Pittsburgh, though, they've been good against the spread, 6-1. Certainly not because of their offense. It's been atrocious, shooting 41% of the field. They're not even in the top 300 nationally. Louisville has been playing really good defense. Louisville 10-0 straight up in the last 10 games against Pitt at home, and 10-3 last 13 against Pitt. I'm going Pitt here because of just the combination of Louisville's good defense and Pittsburgh's shooting woes. I think they're gonna have trouble. Could be some COVID stuff going on for Louisville. That could switch it late, so keep an eye on it. There's some rumors about the guard Faulkner having COVID. Unclear whether he'll be cleared in time to play, but I'm going Louisville -12 I don't think Pittsburgh shows up here. Colby, am I crazy?
And just to add to that COVID point, Louisville is one of the deeper teams in the country. Relying on they're in the top, I think 30 in terms of reliance on bench minutes. So.
Yeah, and Mason Faulkner, that's the basketball gods getting back at him. He originally transferred to Colorado, and last second he flips over to Louisville.
Pulled a Mel Tucker.
Yeah, pulled a midnight Mel Tucker. Okay, I'm on Pitt, man. Look, Jeff Capel, I get it. He's on the hot seat. People are saying he needs to be fired. But if you look, since November 30th, now they've had some bad beats. They lose to Minnesota by 1 at the buzzer.
Mm-hmm.
They lose to Virginia in Charlottesville at the buzzer. It was like Kawhi Leonard shot. Jaden Gardner, the ECU transfer, hits like 10 spots off the rim and it goes in. They lose to Monmouth by 4. And then they lose to Notre Dame by 1 the other night. This team's better than their record indicates. They beat St. John's on the road. Give me Pitt plus the points. Lock this thing up.
It just seems extremely difficult to want to lay this many points with Louisville. I mean, I guess the argument is they speed them up, and the pace that they play on offense is why this game gets stretched out. But I'm with you. I'm going to take the points. I think Pitt loses, but they can grind out a cover.
Nah, you guys are crazy. They're going to get their ass kicked. Come on, they can't hit a shot.
Papa Sean over there.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Ole Miss. Tennessee down in Knoxville, where the Tennessee Volunteers are laying 15 against Ole Miss. Whew, I mean, Tennessee is obviously pretty good. That's why we have this massive spread. 13-2 straight up last 15 against Ole Miss at home. 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games, but Mississippi's been hanging 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 games. All of a sudden, you talk about Auburn. Obviously, Alabama came in with a little heat. All of a sudden, the SEC is becoming a little bit of a basketball conference here, Colby.
Definitely.
They schedule the same way, right, Colby?
That is true. I mean, look, there are some bad scheduling. Look at Kentucky's. Look at Arkansas's.
But hey, that's why they have a real playoff to figure it out. And the conference championships.
That's true.
Well. The conference tournament. I'm going big dog here with Ole Miss because I think this could be a little bit more of a game, and I think Ole Miss's record against the spread shows they're a little bit of a. I wouldn't call them quite a live dog, but I do think this number is too high. Colby.
They're a similar team to Dayton. It's like, which team are we? Kermit Davis, the head coach of Ole Miss, which team are we going to see? Because this is a team that just lost to Samford of the SoCon. They lost to Western Kentucky by 23 in Oxford. But at the same time, they've beaten Memphis. They've beaten Dayton.
But you can't. Memphis is not a good basketball team. we can't credit teams who beat Memphis.
Hey, they were good enough to beat your Hokies.
Hokies still play with a little bit of variance and forget to score sometimes. I'm just saying you can't throw Memphis in as a good one.
But Kermit Davis was a longtime Middle Tennessee coach. He returns, Middle Tennessee and Murfreesboro, not that far away from Knoxville. Give me the points. A little too much. Tennessee wins by 10.
Colby never met a dog he doesn't like.
For the record, I would. What the fuck is going on over there, Sean? Unplug the power from the board.
Oh, you're right. Maybe that's it.
Hopefully that's it. There we go. You guys are crazy. I mean, honestly, I would have made this number like 18.
Wow.
I think Ole Miss
odds maker Ryan Kramer. We're getting a little behind the counter action.
Ole Miss on the road. How are they going to score and keep up in this game against
that's
that
true,
defense?
But
are you not worried though? Well,
I mean, of course I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I'm not a bitch. Never worried. All right.
Hashtag not scared.
No
Hashtag
one's calling me
breed.
telling me they that you know what? Someone calls me who's no longer on my team. I hang up that goddamn phone. Don't tell me you want to beat.
Why are you wasting time talking to other? What are you gossiping?
Hey,
what is Joe Judge?
For those of you who have left the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, you know who you are. Don't come calling.
Are they
telling
calling
me how
back?
Awesome we are.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I was with you guys. No, I mean that actually does happen. Unlike with Joe Judge and his made up. Many people are saying we have the greatest organization. Alabama, Florida, Gainesville, Florida. Florida is a pick. Now Alabama. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I feel like they haven't been as good on the road. Like 0-5 against the spread in their last 5. Although they are 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games at Florida. Alabama won 7 straight SEC games. I mean, Florida is gonna be up for this game.
Yeah.
But can they hold down Alabama's scoring? I mean, Alabama's putting up 82 points per game, but I think they're slightly overhyped right now, especially regular season SEC big Saturday night game. I'm leaning Florida, but I kind of want a couple points. The fact that it's a pick is scary. Colby.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with the Gators here. Bama's been, they have wins against Gonzaga. They just beat Tennessee, but at the same time, they lay a lemon or two. Davidson beat them. Iona did. Rick Pitino's bunch. They're hitting the road. I like this Florida team. Colin Castleton's a beast. Give me the Gators at home to get the dub.
Honestly, you look at this team and it just feels very, very fraudulent with wins over teams like Miami, Gonzaga, and Houston. Like Gonzaga's a good team. Houston.
Well, the Houston one was arguably goaltending. There's a very controversial.
I worry
there,
that like that's the spotlight. That's what everyone remembers. But Memphis, not a good team. They lost badly to Memphis. Badly. They lost to David. I mean, like you said, Iona. I mean, this is a team that they're going to be the high variance team. When they look good, they can beat anyone in the country. I think they're also capable of losing to a lot of teams, and specifically in this spot, give me Florida. I would have made the true number here, Sean, is probably Florida -2.
Really? All right, I'll go with you guys on Florida. Maybe the road stuff is legit.
Yeah, they're a football school also, and you got to wonder if they're maybe a little distracted with national championship talk.
Oh yeah, so, real college.
Florida really wants to stick. Everyone really wants to stick it to the elephant.
Syracuse heads down to Miami, Florida. Gonna show those Miami boys what some real orange can do down there. Let's go. I mean,
by the way, Sean really likes Syracuse.
The Miami laying 1.5. I mean, this doesn't. In fact, they have 2 Boeheim brothers. Do you realize that?
Wait, Sean, hold on. Update. It's actually -2.
Oh wow! So I'm getting 2 points, 1 for each Boeheim brother. Are you kidding me? I don't know. This Syracuse team is fun. Again, the angle of a dad coaching his sons, possibly towards the end of his career here. Yeah. I got a lot of trends and stats here. I don't give a shit. Give me Syracuse +2. They're a quality road team, and I think they're going to show up here. Colby,
I'll ride with you because I think they need it more than Miami.
That's also true. Miami could actually lose this and not be.
Yeah,
and for those who aren't aware, everyone should Google Miami strength and conditioning coach for their football team if they want a good laugh.
That guy's amazing.
Truly, Syracuse.
Got to get him on the show.
Syracuse is just going to be a team that it's going to be hard for us to. I will not acknowledge a single loss from that team this year. I'm just going to back them all the way. When I was making this number, I thought it should be Syracuse, maybe -1, but I figured that the betting market would be different. Yeah, let's take Syracuse. This is silly. This is like picking against the Cowboys.
All right. We got a bunch of games left here in the second half of the slate. Before we get to that, want to shout out. Soundboard's really hitting a wall, Ryan.
Really? It's not working at all now, huh?
Dog. Nah. Something's messed up with the soundboard. All right. Anyway, no need for sound. I'll roll solo. BetterFantasy.com. If you guys didn't sync up your fantasy football league with Better Fantasy, you missed out. But don't worry, still plenty of opportunities to win some awesome prizes. NFL playoffs are coming up, and you can get down on all your favorite player props completely free to play. So literally, you have nothing to lose, only awesome prizes to gain. All you got to do to get set up, go to betterfantasy.com/SGPN. betterfantasy.com/SGPN. BETTOR fantasy.com/SGPN. Better Fantasy available worldwide and in all 50 states. Let's go. Also, make sure you check out SoBet.io/SGPN. SoBet, of course, stands for social betting. Stands for a simpler time when you and I went mano y mano. I like this bet. You like that bet. Who's going to win? I'll tell you, I'm probably going to win because I'm the man. Sometimes I lose, but the important thing is it's fun to challenge your buddies, your friends, your family to head-to-head matchups. And that's why you got to go to SoBet.io/SGPN, SoBet.io/SGPN. Creighton, Villanova tipping off in Philadelphia. Villanova laying 10. Whew. I mean, I'm all about taking Villanova, but
this is the 11.5. I didn't update this one. Sorry.
So even bigger. Geez. All right. Villanova guard Daniels questionable with COVID. Nova has won 13 straight games at home. They're very good at home, but Creighton hasn't been shooting well like they normally have. They're below 70% from the free throw line. Again, Villanova doesn't turn it over. Creighton beat Villanova by 20 2 weeks ago. So this is I don't know what to do here because I like the revenge spot for Villanova, but then again, is that number too crazy?
Well, that's why you see 1.5 points off of the number that I made it 10. That's probably simply revenge factor stuff. And I think, if you profile the game, Sean, what do we like when we're trying to cover a big spread? Well, one team doesn't shoot the free throws, as you pointed out, and one team shoots them quite well. Villanova, one of the best teams in the country, shooting the free throw. Also, they never turn the ball over. So I think if you're going to lay a big number, you can safely do it with Villanova in a revenge spot where they're going to be extra focused, which means making their shots, not turning the ball over. And I'm sure they'll turn Creighton over a little bit, something they've had a problem with. So Big East basketball at its finest. Villanova lay the points.
I'm with you.
The revenge thing I think is real. I think if this was
sorry, Colby, I had to go first. I had an actual handicap on that one, so I didn't want you to step on any of those awesome.
What do you
points.
got, Colby? For us?
No. How about this? Creighton, although they've been ahead of schedule, they start a bunch of freshmen, so they're hitting the road. And when you're going to go at Nova, this place will be lit. Give me Villanova minus the points. Revenge spot. Add in all those great points that you made about free throw shooting. Michael Creighton.
I mean, let's
not going to cover this.
Let's not forget how shitty that Congo movie was. I mean, probably not Michael
Congo
Crichton's
was
fault.
bad. I never saw that.
Oh, you want to talk about a movie?
We should throw it on in the office.
We mentioned special effects that aged well. They did not age well in Congo.
You sound like you watched it recently.
I don't honestly, like, as a kid, it's one of my favorite books. And they couldn't have they could have done. They could have made Jurassic Park with it. But
Jurassic Park book is great.
But they decided to make shit with it.
Yeah.
Sorry, completely unrelated. But
No, people come here for the Congo talk. They stay for the college.
Colby is a low key.
That's the motto
film
of our
nerd.
show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean? I agree with you. Congo's shit. Right?
Colby is a very interesting character. He has very hipster-like tendencies, but then also, much like me, is trapped in old man mode.
What are you talking about? Hipsters that don't love Rambo? All right, I watch fucking Rambo every day. All right?
Yeah, again, I'm saying you're a nuanced character. You're a tough nut to crack. You're breaking down a Boba Fett like you're a freshman at fucking USC film critic theory.
I mean,
of like,
could the director of photography done a worse job?
The protagonist felt a bit unmotivated in that first act, and it was dragging. It's like, Colby, it's just
I wouldn't use the word protagonist. I would not use that word. All right,
we're talking about guys fucking shooting.
Is that a D3 school protagonist?
Yeah.
They have lasers in the show, and they shoot each other with lasers. I mean, I'm not,
They're rivals with Incarnate Ward.
Go watch Rambo, guys. It's always great.
Rambo is a classic.
First
but then
Blood.
you don't like The Rock. That makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, no, I like him as the commissioner of the
Rock.
XFL. All right?
Well, here's what it is.
Saving football.
Again,
I do like.
You're in the minority of people who love The Rock for his XFL commissioner,
Colby.
but don't like his movies.
The Rock is an upgraded Stallone, just like the NFL is an upgraded college football.
Look,
That's why Colby hates
I
it.
like The Rock, but I just haven't seen any good movies that he's been in.
See, that's what you say if you're like friends with an unfunny stand-up comedian.
The cinematic glory that is Vin Diesel and The Rock battling.
No, and I'm an anti-Diesel guy too. All right, Diesel doesn't do anything.
All right,
for
let's
me.
move on before some.
He's no Ivan Drago.
April might have turned the show off by now at this pace.
Texas Tech laying 1 against Iowa State in Ames, Iowa. Iowa State 9-4 against the spread this season, but Texas Tech has been good against Iowa State, historically 5-0. Both teams, as you'd expect, good defenses. Texas Tech slight edge on the rebounding. Iowa State started out 12-0 and then lost to Baylor. I'm just gonna keep it chalky here and take Iowa State as a slight home dog. Again, Ames is usually a tough place to play. I know for football, but
Basketball too.
Yeah, Iowa State now a +1 dog. I'm guessing that's where you're going, Colby.
Yeah, they got TJ Altenberger, their head coach. I know that sounds like something Kramer orders with the soy burgers or something.
I love an
I'll take an Altenberger. But look, they've been really good. I was impressed with how they played Baylor despite losing. They've kind of been. I modeled them like Oregon State of last year. They have a bunch of transfers that came in, and Altenberger's got this team playing ball. And this place will get lit. This place will be lit. So give me Iowa State to get the dub.
Yeah, and don't forget to mention that in their only other road game, they lost. So Texas Tech, that is. So while Lubbock is kind of a strange place to get to, so is Ames. So again, this is one of those weird road trip games mixed with the fact you just got to monitor college teams going to the road when they haven't done a lot. It's just, this is obvious. I'm shocked that Iowa State is the dog. I would fully expect this to be Iowa State as the favorite by the time this game tips.
Yeah. So we're triple going here. Iowa State, Penn State, Northwestern. Northwestern laying 6 in Evanston, Illinois. Penn State not been great rebounding. Northwest outscoring them by a 12-point margin. Northwest been playing pretty good defense, but you know, Penn State's held their own against Northwestern. I'm going Penn State here in the points. You know, this is Big Ten basketball. I think 6 points is a lot. Colby, are you with me or are you against me?
I'm going to take Northwestern. Penn State's coming off that huge win
That's
against
right. It could
Indiana.
be a letdown spot.
And when you thought, like, I think, you know, early in the year, we didn't know how good Providence and Wake Forest were. Those are the losses Northwestern has, and Michigan State that just happened the other day. So I think that when you really look at it, they're like, man, you've played a pretty good schedule, a pretty decent. Chris Collins doing a good job there. I'm going to lay the 6 with the Wildcats.
I do worry that Colby is strangely a fan of the Northwestern coaches, so there is like that emotional thing coming off the loss to Michigan State. It does seem like they're in a good spot. Penn State has not. I think one road game. I had it up earlier. Maybe they've had one.
Well, they're
road
coming
game.
off that huge win against Indiana.
Well, on top of that, the trajectory thing, you just have these teams they take to the road, and it's just not. Let's see. I got it right. One road game for Penn State at Michigan State. They got housed. I think I'll go back to that well and fade them again. Give me Northwestern.
We are.
Penn State's a football school, and they're just getting pillaged right now by the Virginia Tech Hokies as all the good coaches and staff members vacate to go to Black. I'm so happy about Virginia
Colby,
Tech.
it's just good to see Ryan excited.
I'm
about
so
something.
happy about Virginia
It's
Tech.
just good to see the excitement.
Basketball and football school. Sure.
Really? How's the basketball team doing?
They'll figure it out.
Big game tonight.
They'll be in the tourney.
UNC laying 2 as they head to South Bend, Indiana to square off against the Fighting Irish. Neither team has been great against the spread. Notre Dame 3-9. UNC's been pretty good shooting the 3 ball, 39%. They've done well against Notre Dame, 9-1 last 10 against Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's been good at home, 6-0 last 6 for Notre Dame. I'm going to go Notre Dame here as a slight home dog, Notre Dame +2, but you could talk me into UNC. Colby, what are you doing?
Well, I just cashed in on North Carolina whooping Boston College the other night, but I think you're right. Notre Dame's first off, they've been a disappointment this year, but if you look, Kentucky played at Notre Dame. Notre Dame pulled the upset. I think they do it again here against the Tar Heels in South Bend.
I mean, if both teams bring their A game, this is going to be an easy game for North Carolina. The road trip is the scary part. I know I've been harping on that, but I think I know that North Carolina is dialed in right now, and I think they have. I mean, you look at the profiles of these teams. You head over to KenPom, and it's a very clear. UNC should be favored by more points. Notre Dame's getting a lot of credit for their home field, I think, in this number. And
home court.
What did I say? Home field?
Yeah.
Well, we're football guys, Sean.
I like it.
Notre Dame. I would say Notre Dame needs to be getting like 4 points for it to be interesting for me. So North Carolina laying 2. I would have made this 3.5.
Interesting.
No,
4.
I would have made the number higher, but I just feel like Notre Dame. Why is it -2 then? They know something I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah,
because they're asleep at the wheel. I mean, let's see where these numbers close, Colby.
all right.
That's why you're gonna get these early numbers, the CLV that you only get from the SGP. All right, guys, time to close it out with the lock, dog, tease, and bonus lock. Again, soundboard is in the health and safety protocols. Let me try one more time.
Oh,
All right, we're back. Clear protocols, and that's why the CDC shortened the time window.
it's not sick. It can play.
Yeah, it's asymptomatic. Ryan, what do you got? Lock dog and bonus lock.
I appreciate you wanting me to lead the troops.
All right,
here.
Colby.
No, I'm always ready. Always for Iowa State. First up, lock.
Ooh, like that.
They should be favored. They're not favored. They will be favored by tip. Lock number 2. I think the defense of VCU travels here into Dayton and gets it done +1.5. And for my dog, it's a shorter dog, Sean, but give me Syracuse. Maybe we'll get lucky and people will bet on Miami.
So so you're taking VCU in the points for your.
Oh, I guess you can put that in whatever order you want.
Do you? Well, it's your
Syracuse. Syracuse. I don't want to take your ability to take the Boeheims as a dog. So give me Syracuse as my bonus lock and give me VCU as my dog.
Okay.
Is that a bitch move, Colby?
Come on.
It's never a pitch move betting on the Boeheims. Buddy and Jimmy Boeheim. Are you kidding me? Double the Boeheims. Obviously, I'm taking Syracuse on the money line for my locks.
Fuck, marry, kill. Jimmy, Buddy, Jim.
Oh, that is tough, Ryan. Well, I mean, Jim's getting up there. His hip might break, so we got to. I don't want to put the
Kill
guy
him,
in the hospital.
Put him
down. What are we gonna do here for the locks?
I'm fucking Jimmy, marrying Buddy.
I really like DePaul +5.5. But am I gonna lock that up? VCU. Oh, you know what? Villanova. I mean, the revenge spot.
Yeah.
It's big number, but I like it. Dog, obviously, like I said, Syracuse all over that. And for my bonus lock, I'm gonna go Florida here. You probably don't need to pick this game and lock it up, but I like the spot for them.
I think you're going to be sitting on a very unpopular side come tip off.
Hashtag contrarian better. Colby, what do you got?
I'm gonna lock up Pitt +12.
Okay.
Especially the fact that Mason Faulkner's not 100% healthy. As for the dog, let's go with the Blue Demons of DePaul in Queens against St. John's, and bonus lock. Let's ride with the Cyclones in Ames.
Yeah, I really like that's my strongest lean. That turned into a pick because we pick every game. Iowa State should be favored in that game.
All right. Make sure you check out the College Basketball Experience Daily College Basketball Picks podcast from the Colby Dant. Make sure you drop us a nice rating and review, Apple Podcasts or Spotify or the SGPN app. If you do it on the app or Spotify, make sure you send us a screenshot, tweet us at Gambling Podcast so you get credit for that, for your chance to win free gear every Monday, aka Merch Monday.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green, and he is Ryan.
Sean, we're ramping down on football. It's almost full-time college basketball time.
Kramer, let it ride.